August in Maine means a few different things. It's too hot, fall's almost here, and it's tomato season. So I went shopping in my dad's garden. Thanks, Dad. I got the goods, and here we are. Today, I wanted to make a tomato galette. Sounds fancy, but really it's not. It's mostly just delicious. So let's get started. We're gonna start with the dough because this has to chill for a bit. So into a large bowl, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a stick and a half of cold butter, diced. Get your pastry cutter, and then cut this butter in until you get pea-sized little pieces in here. See all those little butter pieces? That's where the good stuff is. Also into this mixture, we're going to put 1 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt to stream in slowly and mix while we do it. 1/4 cup of ice cold water along with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. The dough hasn't come together yet. It's still very dry. So we're going to add some more ice cold water, a tablespoon at a time, until we get a shaggy dough. I think it's just starting to come together, so I'm going to dump it out on a surface. Make sure your work surface is clean and just work it until it comes together. You don't want to work it too much, but you want to make sure you can be able to pull the dough together. I'm gonna wrap this up, put it in the fridge. It needs to sit for an hour or 2. Our dough is just about completely chilled, so I'm gonna prep the tomatoes. I have about 1.5 pounds of tomatoes. These are just from the garden. I've got some cherry tomatoes to kind of mix it up, but just good old tomatoes. What we're gonna do is just slice them up. Serrated knife usually works better. Helps not to squish the tomatoes too much. As we're chopping up the tomatoes, we're gonna just place in a bowl very carefully so you don't rip them too much. As we layer these in the bowl, going to just lightly salt them. This helps flavor and also drain out some of the liquid that's in there. Same thing with the cherry tomatoes, just in little slices. Give these a little toss, set them aside. To our bigger tomatoes, I'm going to add a couple of cloves of garlic, just sliced pretty thin. Also going to give these a very careful toss. And these are just going to sit for 5 or so minutes just to draw out some of that liquid in there. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. To get started with our dough, I'm going to flour some parchment paper. It's important to do this on the parchment paper because it's easier to transfer it once it's all rolled out. See all the bits of butter. Oof, this is gonna be flaky. I'm gonna grate about 4 ounces of some good sharp cheddar onto this. Once the tomatoes have kind of been chilling in here for about 5 minutes, you're gonna transfer them onto some paper towel so they can drain. Decorate your tart. Now we're just gonna fold up the sides, supposed to look really nice and rustic. Oven's ready. Egg wash, just 1 beaten egg. Brush it all around. Some pepper all along the crust and also over the tomatoes. Some nice flaky sea salts. Delicious. And I like to finish it off with just a little bit of oregano. Now we're gonna pop this in the freezer for about 10 minutes before we bake it. This has been chilling, so I'm gonna slide it onto my baking dish. Now we're gonna pop this into our preheated oven for 50 to 60 minutes. You want it to be really nice and golden brown and flaky, and the bottom should be cooked because we don't want a soggy bottom. Just checking in. This smells so good. It's been in the oven for about half an hour. Ooh, get ready. Oh my God. You ready for this money shot? Look at that. I'm going to let it cool for about 5 or 10 minutes so it sets up a little bit. And look how pretty. Oh, I'm excited. Look at that crust. Oh, and those tomatoes are so beautiful. Oh my God, I cannot wait to eat this. Okay, I can't wait anymore. I'm just gonna cut a little piece. Can you hear that? Oh my God, a flake just came off. That means I have to eat it, right? No soggy bottoms. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. It's like a fancy pizza slice. Down it goes. So flaky and fresh. Those tomatoes are so good. Good job, Dad. This is very impressive too. If you show up to a party with this, they're gonna be like, ooh, you know how to cook. You can try this with a lot of other vegetables too. I bet this would be really good with asparagus and onions. Can you see the flakes in that? Oh my God. Enjoy.